Welcome to our Book Marketing Club Masterclass, and today's Masterclass is the power of networking. So the aims of this session that we're going to be looking at is to give you an understanding of the value of networking. I know a lot of you, some people not sure why they should go out to network, what should they be doing. So we're going to have a look at that value. Then we're going to have a look at, we're getting out there networking, how can we maximize our networking opportunities? We've all got precious time. We wanted to make sure that the opportunities that we do with networking are optimized. And then we're going to look at the power of introductions and how you can showcase your book and business and avoid being a name, rank, and serial number. So why do we network? Well, there are a lot of reasons we do. That's for information. So we like to go out there and exchange information, share it with others, and absorb information. What's the latest thing that's happening? How can we be on top of what's going on? Most importantly, from my perspective, I think it's building reliable contacts. It's building that like, knowing, trust, and respect. It's great to be able to do networking online, and we're going to talk about online and offline networking. But it's also great to go out in person, and I see networking as a way of getting to know people, letting them know who you are, making some great contacts, and on the way also some awesome friends. And it creates business opportunities, absolutely. We talk about get known, be seen. We're talking about making it easy for our clients to find us. And networking, whether it's online or offline, is one of those ways that we can make it easy for our clients to find us, and it can create business opportunities. It's not what we should be going in thinking we're going to do immediately, but it is a great outcome of what we're doing. And of course, it reaches a wider audience, and that's what we're all about. What we've been talking about in our Book Marketing Club, it's what we've been talking about, and what I'm so passionate about is making it easy for your clients to find you. So when you network, you are reaching a wider audience. Yep, we can do it online, we can stay at home, but we are missing those who like to go out. So we need to take our courage, our 60 seconds of insane courage, and get out of our comfort zone and go out there and reach a wider audience. Now, great problem with networking that a lot of people find, and this is a quote that I think is brilliantly appropriate. Do you just arrive at the function and mingle, or do you attend with a plan? How often do you just turn up to a network meeting and it becomes more a social outing? And now if that's your plan, that's fine. But mostly we really want to get more out of it than that. So we need to have a plan. We need to have a plan of what we want to get out of that networking at this particular time with this particular group. So the inconvenient truth of networking is it's not about who you know, it's all about who knows you. So my question to you, and I think you should take a little bit of time at the moment, is how well do people know you? Think about it. Just jot down, how well do you think people know you? Do they know who you are? Do they just know you personally? Or do they actually know what your message is? Do they actually know what your business is? And in our case, do they know what books you've written? How well do people know you? So this is about planning your networking. Because if we want to ensure that people know us well, we want to ensure that we're going to the right networking places and that we are being effective and maximizing our use of time, we need to do a bit of planning. So the first thing you need to do is decide on your goal. What is your goal? Is it to just go along and meet new people? Is it to go along and make sure that you speak to 2 new people that day and have a conversation? Book a conversation, book a coffee meeting with someone? Is it to go along and let them know about your book that's coming out? Or is it to go along and let them know about something you're doing as a workshop or something a little bit different about your business? Need to decide your goal. What is your goal that you want to achieve from this particular network meeting? Now, those goals are going to change depending on what type of network meeting you go, and they're going to change every time you go to a network meeting. You might have some slightly different goals, but you need to have in your mind a goal. What is your goal for this network meeting? And then plan well, because select your networking groups or meetup. Not every networking group or meetup is going to be appropriate for you. Not everyone is one that you're going to resonate with. Not everyone is going to have your clients there or people that need to hear your message. So do some research. think about what groups there are. And there are heaps of groups. You can go on to Meetup and put in some keywords from your business, from your book, from what you're planning to do, your workshop, and see which sort of meetups come up that match those keywords. When you're online, do some looking at when you're doing your Facebook groups, because Facebook groups is online networking. So do the same thing. What groups resonate with you? What groups resonate with your wider audience? The people that you are trying to reach, the people that need to hear your message, or the people that need to read your book. And along with that then is who do you want to connect with and why? So you've decided which group you're going to, you've done some of that research. Then part of your goal is who do you want to connect with and why? Is it just to find out, let people know, your wider audience, your readers, people know that you've got your book and you want to connect with potential readers? Do you want to connect with potential clients? Is it people that you want to connect with that might form part of your tribe that will help you, that may be able to mentor you, may be able to help you with certain parts of your business, might have skills that you need to connect with and you want to get to know them? Who do you want to connect with and why is an important part of your planning. The other thing you need to decide is how often should you attend networking functions. Now, there are a myriad, as I said, of networking groups out there. Now, some meet every week, some meet every fortnight, some meet once a month. Think about your time. Think about the best resource, of use of your time and as a resource. Think about your goals and what you want to and who you want to connect with, and then think about how often do you want to go. Now, for myself, I have 1 or 2 monthly ones, and there are a couple of fortnightly, weekly ones that I attend every now and then. So I don't go every week, I don't go every fortnight, but they are weekly meetings. So I space out my time. Now, you don't want to be forever networking, so you don't want to have too many of them. Do go and try them out, find out if they are resonating with you. So you might go to a few and you might find yourself going to a variety of network meetings to start with to see which ones are resonating. And then just pick 2 or 3 that are really useful. You might add a new one every now and then. So looking at your goal, looking at the people that you want to work with, select your networking group. And again, on Facebook, online, when your Facebook groups, the same sort of thing. If you're going to connect on an online group, you need to make sure that you do at least pop in there at least 2 or 3 times a week to make sure that you build up that connection. Then, very important part of your networking, and one that we'll go through a little bit more in depth, is you need to follow up effectively. How are you going to do that? This is a thing that is left out of a lot of networking. People will plan, they'll work out their goal, they'll know who they want to connect, they'll know how many they want to go to, but they forget to follow up effectively. So if you do meet someone, you arrange to go for a coffee meeting, or you meet someone who says they want to know a little bit more and you've been conversing with them, make sure you follow up any connections you make. Because that's where it is. The power is in the follow-up. The power is in the connections that you make. So let's have a look at some more effective networking then. Prior preparation, this is a checklist. If you get a chance, if it is available, you can check the attendees. Not all network groups are going to give you a list of who's attending. If there's a meetup one, that's pretty good, because usually you can go to the meetup online and you can see who's answered yes and who's going to be going. If you get an opportunity, check the attendees, because that gives you a bit of information and you're going in there being able to be a bit more effective. Now, some of these sound pretty obvious, but they can trip you up. So check the location, timing and parking. I know there was one network group that I was going to, a meeting, and I didn't even think about the parking. I thought, oh yeah, that'll be easy. Well, it wasn't. And I wasted so much time looking round and round for a car park, then I had to walk miles, that I was late for the network meeting, which is, as an introvert, made it very hard for me to walk in. I'm an introvert. It's not always easy for me to go to network meetings as well. So check location, timing and parking facilities. It's always handy. Make sure you've got your business cards. Now, you don't want to be shoving business cards in front of everybody, but you want to make sure that you do have some business cards there if someone does ask you. If someone says, oh, look, I'd like to know what's going on, or I'd like to connect more with you, well, you can give them a business card to give them the details of how they can connect with you. So having some business cards there is a really great way of being able to connect with people if you decide to arrange another time. It gives an opportunity to get your email, get your phone number. Prepare and rehearse your introduction. Now, we've spoken a little bit about that, and some of you have attended one of my Perfecting Your Pitch workshops or one of my Quick Start Public Speaking workshops where we talk about a little bit more in depth about this. And I will probably do another masterclass on it. But you need to have your introduction. You don't want to be name, rank, serial number. You want to have a really good introduction that is concise, coherent, and competent, that showcases immediately who you are, the problem you solve, and what you can do for the people that you want to connect with. One of the things that will make your networking more effective is positive, what I call positive participation. Arrive early. Now, this is a really great tip if you're an introvert like me. It's a lot easier to arrive early, stake out a nice position, and watch as other people come. It's a lot harder for introverts to walk into a full room. In some cases, though, some introverts might find that okay because they can slip in without being seen, but I like to. And one of the good things is arriving early gives you time to get comfortable with where it is, find out what the process is, and sort of talk to people as they come in. Befriend a newcomer. Remember, you were a newcomer once. If you've been going to this network meeting quite regularly and someone new walks in, help them out by walking across and saying hello. They're probably and will be as nervous as you. So by going over there and saying, hi, this is who I am, I've been coming to this, welcome, if you've been here before, it helps start a conversation and it helps break the ice for them. Next tip was don't sit with the same people. We as humans have this innate, almost compulsion to always sit in the same place. If you ever watch people when they go to lectures, they nearly always go and try and find the same seat at every lecture. It just seems to become automatic. And if you have made some friends, made some great connections, there's a temptation to sit always with your friends in the same spot. Well, you need to push that comfort zone. Networking is about getting to know everybody there. So it means you want to step out away from always being with the same people. And one of the problems, byproducts of sitting with same people all the time, it can give a perception of being a bit cliquey. So mix it up, move and sit with other people, get to know everybody that you can at that network meeting. Is it easy? No, it can be hard unless you're an extrovert, and extroverts find that part really easy, but introverts can be. But if you take 60 seconds of insane courage, the benefits of doing that will be enormous. Now, this is one of the things that people new to networking often fall into this trap. They sell their business, they sell their book. They're so eager to share what their business is, to share their book, to share their message, they sell it. Don't sell. You want to solve problems. Find out, you've done your research, the people there that you're connecting with are potential readers, potential audience. They've got the problems that your book or your message or your business will solve. So share those problems, talk to them, find out, say, oh wow, I've got the similar problem, or I know people that I've worked with and I've done this. Maybe have you thought about this? So you can start to offer some suggestions in solving problems. And that will mean that your expertise will start to grow and people will become knowing who you are and what problems you solve. Listening skills are a great part of your speaking journey and being an effective speaker. Say it seems funny, but it is. The more you can harness good listening skills, the better off you're going to be. And here, introverts have a real bit of a heads up because they like to listen and they listen carefully. So extroverts are so busy talking that they quite often forget to listen. So listen to other introductions carefully when people are doing them. Listen to the conversations that are going on and make some notes. If you're listening to an introduction and someone you think, oh, I'd love to talk to them, make a note about it. If they give you business cards, make a note on the business card as a memory jogger. quite often I get given, people say, look, I'd like to connect, or can you send me something? And I need to quite often make a note on that as to what it is I'm going to send them. So when I follow up, I can follow up effectively. It's a great way of making a memory jogger. And if you can, the opportunity's there, sometimes it's great to stay late after a network meeting and make some contacts. That's when you could make those arrangements to go and have coffee and that. Now, you can't always do that because sometimes the network meeting is in a venue or somewhere where you've got to end on time. But it's good because if you're starting to converse with people during the network meeting, it's great to take that conversation out of that more formalized meeting and relax a bit more and make it a nice general conversation and a way of connecting with people. This is where the conversational tips come in handy. Sometimes it's hard to know what to say. And basically, this is what I do. Hi, I'm Trish. Breaks the ice. Let people know who you are. I ask a lot of questions. It's really good because then I don't have to speak so much. But I ask a few questions. Don't make it sound like an interrogation, but ask a few questions. When you hear those answers, it gets the conversation going and you can ask some more questions from that, or you can start to contribute. Think about current affairs, current events and current affairs. Always good to be able to comment on that. It's a great conversation starter. Pay a compliment. If you hear something and maybe one of the introductions that someone did was about the latest book they're just releasing. Well, go up and pay a compliment. Wow, awesome to hear about that book. Or wow, I love what you're wearing. Or I love, a lot of people start and say, wow, I love the color of your hair. And that's a great conversation starter for me. So I can go on. And be honest if you're nervous. If you go up to say hello to someone, just say, great. This is my first time. I'm a little bit nervous. What about you? What have you been doing? People will help you. People are willing to have a conversation if you're nervous. They want to help you get over it. A lot of these people are probably passionate about the network meeting that you're attending, so they're going to want you to stay and join. So they'll work with you. They'll have a conversation with you. Just be open and honest. If you're being a bit nervous about something, do so. Now, this is what I was saying about the follow-up. This is the one that a lot of people absolutely fall down on. If you're going to do networking, you're going to push yourself outside your comfort zone. You want to go and meet those people. Don't waste that opportunity. Don't waste the courage that you took to step outside your comfort zone, to go to network meeting. Make sure you leverage it. Make sure you make it worthwhile. And this is all the gold in the follow-up. So if you have made some connections, if people have given you some contacts or they've asked, they want to meet with you, do it within 24 hours. And you can do the follow-up either with email, we can do a handwritten note, not always, but you can do that, or telephone call. Whatever it is, make that contact and expand that into another connection. You can file. I always like to, record your business cards, make some notes for immediate attention. If you've got a CRM, fill that in, get your connections up in that. One of the other ways that I do follow up, I'll go and see if they're on Facebook. I'll go and see if they're on LinkedIn. And then I will make an approach, friendship, have a look at their profile. If it's resonating with me, I would like to make that contact on Facebook and invite them to be a friend, or I'll make that contact on LinkedIn and make that connection there. So there's a few ways to do that follow-up. And then you can maintain that ongoing contact. Now, one of the great benefits of having some business cards or putting a CRM or making some contact and getting to know people more is that you might be able to recommend or refer them. You can't do that unless you know what they're doing. And they can't refer you or recommend you if they don't know who you're doing. And that is what the whole value of networking is about, making that contact, getting to know each other so that you can help support and recommend each other to other people in your community, in your clientele, in your circle. Don't let nerves get in the way of stopping you from connecting. The more you do it, the more you go networking, the more familiar you're going to come. And one of the things that stops us from networking is the nerves, the anxiety. I haven't done it before. I don't know what's going to happen when I walk in that door. I don't know these people. I don't know how the network meeting is going to be run. What do I do? The more you go to networks, the more you're going to become comfortable with that. And some of that can be done by sourcing, doing a bit of research. Maybe you know someone that is going to that network meeting. Have a conversation with them beforehand so that you get a bit of a feel how the whole format is. You're not walking into that scary, nervous thing of not knowing what's going to happen. When you prepare for your networking events, you're taking control. And a lot of anxiety and nervousness is because of that feeling of lack of control. You're not in control because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how it's all going to work, what you're going to be asked to do. So when you prepare for that and you know your introduction, you've done some research and maybe, as I said, caught up with someone or someone else you know that's going and had a conversation with them, that's going to help you be a lot more in control. Have a positive attitude. Remember, the only person who has absolute control over your attitude is you. You are the one that will control your responses at network meetings. You're the one that's going to control whether you've got a positive attitude when you walk in there or a negative attitude. And whichever attitude you walk in is the vibes that are going to set up how that whole network meeting is going to run for you. Look, we all get intimidated by perceptions. We think, okay, when we go to a network meeting and no one talks to us, we think, oh my gosh, they don't like us, I'm not going to go back. Well, think about your attitude. It could be that they've not got anything to do with that. It's just that they were talking and didn't have an opportunity. They most probably love you. But if you put that attitude in there, that's the one that you're going to respond. So you control your attitude, control how you respond to and how you respond to what's going on. So think affirmations, think positive attitude, believe in yourself, be confident in what you're doing. Remember, it's not about you. It is never about you. It is always about the people that you can help. And by going into networking, you are giving an opportunity for those people you can help have a better opportunity to find you. Practice relaxation techniques. Breathing is essential to life. It's really good, and it's also great for centering you. Now, before I go into anything, before I get up to speak, quite often before I go to a new network meeting or even to ones that I know, I will often take a couple of 3 deep breaths, breathing in, holding it, and out. And that puts the oxygen through my body, and I feel centered. For me, it's a centered feeling, and I feel calm. That means I'm feeling calm and centered. I can walk into that network meeting and say hello to people. I can get up and do my introduction. So breathing is good. A few deep breaths will calm you down, give you that centered feeling, that confident feeling, so that you can actually take those first steps to go into that network meeting. And then isometric exercises are all good if you feel yourself shaking. It's all those exercises they talk to you about on planes, about overcoming deep vein thrombosis. It's clenching and releasing, clenching and releasing. If you've got the shakes, that's because your whole muscular system, the tendons, the nerves are all so tense that they're shaking. So when you go like that, you clench and release, then you are shaking it all up and getting a much more relaxed body, feeling a lot more relaxed, and you're not shaking so much. So there you go. Breathing is good, and isometric exercises are going to help to overcome those shakes. Now, I want to talk a little bit about creating an effective introduction. As the main thing that happens is people try and get up there and give name, rate, and serial number. That is, oh, this is, I'm Mary. This is my business. This is what I've got. Contact me. Oh, it costs this much. Just don't worry about the products or services. Start solving the problems and sharing stories. So solve the problem. Let people know, look, for me, it's like I'm often asked a question, who gets overwhelmed when they get up to speak and you're not sure what to say? Maybe you're feeling really nervous. You've had a bad occasion before and you really want to avoid speaking. Well, we all know that speaking helps you. So that's one of the things that I help. I help you overcome that fear so that you can reach more people and make it easy for your clients to find you. So I'm solving the problem, I'm tapping into the emotion, I'm offering solutions. Highlight differences. Yeah, look, there can be a lot of accountants out there, can be a lot of tax people. There are a lot of authors out there selling books, but they're not you. You are unique. So celebrate your difference, how you work differently or why your book is a bit different, and Take control and ownership of your uniqueness. And use your networking worksheet. I have a networking worksheet that will be up in the group. And that worksheet helps you to plan out your introduction. Helps you to plan out those things, what the problems are, who you're connecting with, what is it that you want to share at this particular meeting. It helps you to plan out your introduction so you've got a bit of a better idea that when you get up to do your introductions, you are looking professional, coherent, credible, competent. So a little bit about communication. There's two sorts of communication. There's connective communication and then there is directive communication. And directive communication is mainly the way males communicate, straight to the point. This is what we're doing. We're going to be doing it now. You know, it's, for example, if your child is running out in the middle of the road, you're not going to come and explain to them and say, hey, I don't think it's a good idea. You're going to say, stop, don't go there, come back. If you're organizing something in a crisis situation, you're not going to give the whole story. You're going to be very direct and say, this is what we have to do now. Boom, boom, this is what you're doing. Now, in a networking, we want to be more connective because connective communication is all about building relationships. And in generally, females are really good at this. It's what we do as our base communication style. Most of us, as I said, nothing is, there's no absolutes. Everybody's a little bit different. Some are more and some less, but in general. So when we're doing connective communication, we're doing it with networking. We want to share our scenes and our experiences, our stories, and then letting people know. So it's like, here's the problem, here's the solution, that's our action. That's what we're going to be doing. So we want to build relationships. So we'll be less direct in our conversation, more inclusive in our conversation, more conversational, so we can build up those relationships. So let's have a look at how we do it. Make your introduction powerful, concise, and memorable. Take the time here now to jot down some points that you would want to say for introductions at network meeting. Now remember, introductions change. Another trap that a lot of people fall into is they create one introduction and they use it all the time at every network meeting and then wonder why it doesn't quite resonate in some. Because every network meeting is different. The groups are different. They might have slightly different audiences. So you need to be changing it. So have 2 or 3 that you can change, and as you get more used to it, more confident with your networking, you're going to be able to do this very flexibly and be able to change it just on the whim, so that you can hook up with connections. You can highlight something that might have come up in a previous introduction. So to start with, just make sure they're powerful, concise, memorable, have a plan, have some dot points, know what you want to say. And as I said, share your stories. Stories connect a lot more with people. Think of all the stories that you have, and we all have stories. Yeah, I know. I often thought to myself when I was first getting my confidence and my abilities to network, that I didn't have a story. And then I realized we all do. Some are little, some are big, some are medium. Doesn't matter, they're all stories. And also you will have stories as clients. You'll have stories of people who read your books. Think about those stories and share them. I love this particular proverb. Tell me the facts and I'll learn. Tell me the truth and I'll believe. But tell me a story and it will live in my heart forever. So get those stories. Think about your stories that you can share and share them out there to connect. One of the good things we've got as authors is we've pretty well got good stories because we've written books and our stories are in those books. So all we have to do is have the courage to unlock those books and share those stories out with everybody when we network. So this is, I've said, how to shine, just to really reiterate what we've been talking about. Don't sell. Share your passion for your book and your business, how you solve their pain and problem, build the relationships, make quality connections. Take the time to know others. And remember your body language and eye contact. For our culture, we will often believe the non-verbal over the verbal if there is a clash. So if you're talking to someone at a network meeting and you're not looking them in the eye, you're looking them away, you're looking them over the shoulder, there's going to be a dissonance set up. people will think, well, she's not here, she's not present in what I'm saying. I don't know why that person is. I mean, how often have you maybe met someone, shook their hand, had a conversation, could have only just been about the weather, only a few sentences. Then you've walked away thinking, there's something about that person that I don't like. There's something that rubs me up the wrong way. And it couldn't be the words. What it is the non-verbal. There was something that wasn't, the non-verbal wasn't matching their verbal message and left you thinking, I'm not sure. Now, the problem with that is they could be your best clients, your best people, but you've walked away because of that. Or you could be their best client, but you've walked away because of what they've done. So make sure that you don't have that happening. Be present when you're speaking. Watch your body language. Now, we also have a tendency in our culture without eye contact that if you don't look us in the eye when you're speaking, we think you're shifty. It's just something that it seems to be a fallback. If you're aware, but you can make allowances. If it is hard for you to look people in the eye, you can just look them above the eye, over their shoulder. You give that impression that you're looking at them. Just don't look down all the time or up all the time or over here, looking at something else over there while you're trying to make that connection. So watch your body language, watch your eye contact. Make sure that they match the words that you are saying. So let's put this together. We start with a question that highlights your book and problem you solve, a message. Make a question, make it a statement. You could even use a quote from your book. Show how you solve it, what your story is in your book. Think about your point of difference, what makes you stand out. And if you've got a testimonial, client story, or a teaser, you can share that as well. But most importantly, end with a call to action. This is the other biggest issue that a lot of people do. They'll put together a great introduction, whether that's 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, whatever it is, but they leave out that call to action. Now, if you're having a conversation, you may not put in a call to action, just a one-on-one conversation, unless it starts to get really information backwards and forwards, and then you might. I mean, the call to action could be as simple in your introduction as, I'd love to have a conversation with you. Connect with me, let's have a cup of coffee. If you find this resonates with you, let's connect. Could be as that. It might be depending on where you are, what the network meeting is, what your introduction. It could be, if you're interested in my book, come and have a conversation with me. Whatever the call to action, you must have some sort of call to action in there. Otherwise, you have squandered that opportunity that you have had to make it easy for your clients to find you, to get known, be seen, to shine. So putting it all together like that means that you always need to have that great opening that catches their attention, that stories in there, that the issues you solve, the points of difference, and the call to nice, well-rounded presentation. Just a short little bit about leads and referrals, because it can be very confusing. A lead is information about someone who may need your product. Referral is an actual introduction. So a lead, you might give someone a lead by saying generally, oh, I know, there's somebody over there that may, you might need to be worthy of your information, and you might give them a name or something. And you say, oh, look, I know someone. But a referral is one step further than the lead. It's where you actually do an introduction to the key decision maker. The difference is critical in networking. Referrals are what you want because they are actual introductions. Leads are good, but they're very general. But if you've actually got a referral that introduces you to the key decision maker, then you are going to be that step further in actually getting to have a really great conversation with that person. So this is the process of it. Be familiar with your database if you want to give referrals. This is why I'm saying have a good CRM, have a good database, get connections so that you can refer or recommend someone, and you can include their business card. I like to get 2 or 3 business cards sometimes so that I can give some away. Inform the person you've recommended of the details and give referrals without expectation of reciprocation. Give out to the universe and the universe will give back. Now, I don't often go to a lot of, some network meetings, be it like BNI, are really big referral ones, and they're big on referrals. I don't go to those a lot because I work from home, because of the people that I work with, I don't always have a lot of referrals to give that help them. But I do in certain other businesses, like because I know a lot about publishers and like books. I know people about websites. I know people who can do more on LinkedIn and social media. Those are the things. I've got those people. I've made connections with those. So those are people I can really refer on. And I don't refer people unless I'm really know how good they are. I've used their services, or I know many people who have, and it's a good referral. When you find someone's a good fit, have a conversation, share the benefits you've received. Do an email introduction, and this is just a quick way of doing an email introduction for both people, and this is just an outline. So I could say, I want to introduce you to a lovely person I met at an event over the weekend who shared her fear of speaking. This is her name. She did something awesome for the job, but she wants to get a bigger aim to be more publicly speaking. In conversation, I mentioned your awesome coaching, and I hereby suggest that you make contact. So she makes contact with you, Trish Springsteen, by email. Now, this email is going to me. It's also going to the one that she's referring me to. Okay, so she's sharing both the phone numbers, both the introductions. We both get to see the email. And that is a really great way to do an email introduction. Now, I'm also finding that a lot of people do private messenger on Facebook introductions. So they do a group message with 3 people like myself, say, in this case, there's me, and then say there's Mary, who really wants some help with public speaking, and Jan is going to introduce us. So Jan will set up a private messenger group with her, Mary, and myself. She will do much the same sort of thing. Hey, Mary, this is Trish. This is who I was speaking about as a great speaker coach. Hey, Trish, look, this is Mary, who has had some issues. She's done a couple, but she'd like to really get better skills. There we are in the private messenger group. We can make contact and then take it outside that group. So there's 2 ways that you can do it. You can also do it verbally, but a great email way, I like that, is because we both get it, we know where we are. The private messenger I like because we both get it and we know what's happening and who's referring and who I'm being referred to. So if I get a referral like that, I'll contact, I'll contact Mary. I'll mention that Jan introduced me. We'll have a discussion, we'll have a discovery session. I might be able to help with some solutions. Then I will go back to the person who referred. So I'll go back to Jan and say, hey, Jan, thanks for referring me. I had a conversation with Mary. I might say, look, yeah, it was great. We're going to be working together. Or I might say, it was good. I was able to give her a few tips, and I might be able to follow up that conversation. It lets the person who's done the referral know that you've actually acted on it. So let's have a look at some potential networking groups for authors. These are offline. These are some of the groups that I've been to, some that where you can go and speak or go and make connections with others. There's Queensland Writers Centre. Bedcliffe Writers Open Mic is really great. You can contact them, and they have 3 people. They do it about every month, I think. They have 3 people who get up and speak and share their book. There's usually an interview, and you can talk about your book. It's an awesome place, an awesome people to meet. There's the Moreton Bay Region Local Writers Meet and Greet. That's down, currently I think they meet down at Strathpine. And again, they have 1 or 2 people speak. They meet about every 2nd month. And it's a great opportunity for you to talk about your book again, and also to make connections with others. And then there's the Gold Coast Writers Association. I think they meet every month down the Gold Coast. And you can put your hand up with them, contact them. You can also look at them for opportunities to speak, but it's also a great place to do some networking potentials. Now, online, there's quite a few Facebook groups, and I'm in all of these. That you can join. So you can just go and explore them, have a look at the group, see whether they resonate with you. Some of them, and they've all got different guidelines, so I just need to check. Some of them don't like you to promote, some of them just want you to be sharing, some of them you can promote your book. So you just have a look and see which ones work with you. Now, there's one for disruptive publishing authors. That's only open to those who've been published through disruptive publishing, which used to be MJL Publications, but it's a great networking. Now, the great thing about these ones on the Facebook groups, you can get a lot of support, And of course, I should add in there, there's the Book Marketing Club group, but that is only available for my Book Marketing Club members. So here we are. Why do we network? We network because it gives us an opportunity to reach a wider audience, to know people who might be mentors for us, to get more information, to get more skills, to build up a tribe of people who will support us. It needs planning. As I said, prior preparation, positive performance, planned follow-up. Think about what it is before. Think about what you do during the network meeting, and think about the follow-up afterwards. The gold is in the follow-up. Search for the right groups online and offline. There are a myriad of groups out there. Networking groups offline, there's heaps of groups online. Find the ones that resonate with you. Now you might have 2 or 3 different groups. There might be one where it's all those people, that your potential clients, your readers, that you might join because they're people that are resonating and need your message. There could be ones you join where you want to learn more skills. So there could be people, they're editors, there could be Facebook people, database. They could have a whole lot of people who've got a lot of skills that you can pose questions and learn from. It could be where you could be offering some skills in that. And then it could be just a nice social one to build up and make more connections of people that are going to support you. So there's a different variety of groups. You need to search for the right ones. And again, online and offline, there will be those. Make sure, this is really good, important, you must have an effective introduction. You need to be able to pitch. For those with my Perfecting Your Pitch workshop, you need to be able to pitch effectively. You want to make sure that you only have a short space of time to catch people's attention, to let them know who you are, and you need to use that time effectively. Do not sell. Do not become name, rate, serial number. Share the problems and share the solutions. And maintain a good database for referrals. That's your good network. So have a good CRM. Whatever method suits you. There's a heaps of methods. But build up those relationships so that you can help others. And as you build them up, they are going to reciprocate down the problem. You get to know each other. You build up a like, knowing, trust. Remember, it's not about who you know. It's about who knows you. Now, on the group page, there's some resources I will put in there on how to maximize your networking, how to plan your networking, and a checklist for perfecting your pitch. So I'll put those into our Book Marketing Club group, and you will be able to see that. Now, if you've got any questions from this masterclass, you can also put them in that book marketing group, or you can bring them to our weekly book marketing sessions. Your challenge from this masterclass is to develop your introduction and share it in the Book Marketing Club. Just share it with us. And if you want to take the really advanced one and step right outside your comfort zone, do a video. Do a video of your camera or with your phone, or do a Zoom recording and share your introduction on by video on social media. And you can share that in the Book Marketing Club group, or you can be just share it out as a Facebook Live, or share it out as a video on one of your pages to let people know who you are and what you're doing. So there's our masterclass on networking. As I said, if you've got any questions, put them into the group or bring them to our weekly conversation sessions. Until next time, I'm Trish Springsteen, your facilitator for the Book Marketing Club. This has been your masterclass on networking.